Teams, teams, teams. They say teamwork make the dream work. In this video, we're going to talk about the top 3 things that is stopping you and most people from reaching not just success, but if you're talking about making 6 figures, if you're talking about making millions of dollars, if you talk, I don't care if you got a great product, you will never succeed unless you do these things that I'm talking about in my video. Some of y'all, the biggest problem that you have is you're too talented. You're too talented. You're too skillful. And what happens is when you got too much talent and you an all-star and you gifted, everybody told you, you can sing good, you can write good, you can speak well. When people tell you these things, what happens is we rely on our talent and we become way too independent. And that's a lie. We've been told. We've been told that we're supposed to be independent growing up. I'm going to tell you today, that's the biggest thing that's stopping you is trying to be too independent. Hold on, what do you mean, hustle God? I'm being too independent. I've lost some of y'all. Let me tell you, the teamwork makes the dream work. The thing that's stopping most people from reaching another level is they stuck doing too much by themselves. They're too independent. They want to do everything on their own. I mean, think about even people that need to lose weight and they don't want to hire a trainer. They trying to do brain surgery on themselves, trying to make a transformation, but you want the person that puts you in a bad position to get you out of it. That person is you, by the way. Yeah, I'm talking about that person sitting in your underwear. Yes. We got to build teams. And that's not it, though. We're going to talk about that. We got to build teams. Second is you have to have a schedule. Okay? And third is you got to have a process that you're building, meaning the culture on how things work. So we're going to talk about those 3 things in this video. If you don't know who I am, I'm your platform partner, your hustling homie. I'm the author of Shut Up and Hustle, the book series. And I really want to help people make breakthroughs. If you're the underdog, if you're the person that you want to get into at least a 6-figure automated income, we're not just talking about income. We're talking about automated income, where that money's coming in. If you want to be that automated person, that's what we're going to be targeting today, but you're not totally there. We're going to talk about it. And so first of all, let's talk about the power of a schedule before we get into the team, before we get into the process. Let's just talk about schedules. Because schedules is probably the number one thing that stopped that where everybody could use some help. I don't care if you're already making millions of dollars. You got to have a solid schedule that you stick to. Now, why is the schedule important? Take a moment to like this video, by the way. Like this video, put a comment, say, Jackson, I like this. Everything in nature has a schedule. Y'all know we talk about astrology a little bit here. I mean, if you think all the planets in the solar system, they operate on a schedule. There's a cycle. Those cycles, one of those planets is the moon, right? Moon, right? When I say a planet, I know it's the moon is the moon, but I'm going to call it a planet today, right? I'm going to call it a planet. The moon has a schedule. It has cycles, and that determines the cycle on Earth. Every day we got 24 hours. That 24 hours can be broken down into 60 minutes. 60 minutes break down to 60 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And then you go up, and that 60 seconds turn to 60 minutes. 60 minutes turns into 24 hours. 24 hours turn into 7 days. 7 days turn into a month. And a month, 12 of those turn into a year. And then 100 of those turn into a century. So it's all based on schedules. Then there are seasons in between. And based on you understand, even animals have seasons. Every animal got a season. Animals have times when they go out and they look for food. You know, if you from the hood, okay, I'm about to give you a jungle reference, talk about owls and birds, but let's talk about the hood for a minute, okay? Because I'm from the South Side. If you're from the South Side, so you know hood animals. So even a cat, you know they have a certain schedule. A cat and a dog got a schedule when they eat, when they in heat, okay? They got a schedule. Squirrels, okay? Squirrels, they have a season when they know they need to be packing up their nuts and putting their nuts away for the wintertime. Everything has a schedule. Everything has a schedule. Now you see me smoking this. First of all, y'all know I don't normally smoke. This is Delta 8, so it's not normal weed, okay? Normal weed is Delta 9, this is Delta 8. So this is not regular weed. This is just for pain relief, okay? Because right now I'm hurt that you haven't subscribed to this video, to this channel. So help me relieve the pain and subscribe. But everything has a schedule. So we have to master schedules. Guys, we got to have those schedules. Our bodies are on a schedule, right? Our bodies function the best. If you want a healthy body, you want to be healthy, there's a certain time in which you need to wake up. A certain amount of hours you need to have sleep, a good sleep. That may be 5-6 hours to have a good deep sleep. And it's all regulated based on our melatonin that's in our body. Our body and our brain is nothing but complex systems that are all working together. Everything from our central nervous system, right? That regulates all of our feelings in our body, to our digestive system. If your digestive system off, you can sick. You can die immediately if your digestive system is off too bad. Same thing with your central nervous system. Same thing with your cardiovascular system, meaning your lungs, and your respiratory system. All of these are systems. But see, so many of us, we can't build a system because, one, we don't have a schedule, because our systems run based on a schedule. Certain things that system needs, and that is a big part of that is having a schedule. So you got to have a schedule, guys. I just want to emphasize the importance of that. And let's talk a little bit about, schedules a little bit. See, a lot of us, we so busy working. We're so busy working that we working on other people's schedule. You working a 9-to-5 job, and it doesn't put you in a position where you can work your own business, because you only got 24 hours in a day. So if you got 24 hours in a day, you spend, let's say, 8 to 10 hours per day working for somebody else living their dream. That throws you off, but you got to still work with it. That means you got to schedule 2 hours to work for yourself. And I tell people all the time, you can work hard on your job, but work even harder on yourself. So most people spend more time working harder on other things, working harder on other people, working harder on somebody else's dream, but they forget that they need to have a dedicated hour, 2 hours where they focus on them. Now that 2 hours, that could be based on, you could be thinking. Most people don't have time to think. Schedule time so you can think. How much will life be different if you schedule time for you to think, for you to just take a 30-minute walk where you can think while you're walking, talking to yourself so you can understand what the hell you need to understand, a problem that you're facing. And just by you walking and talking out, you gain clarity. So you got to create that schedule for yourself, meaning that time for yourself. And schedules are so important, because when you start mastering schedules, you're going to be a step ahead of almost everybody else. Because now you know when you're doing what you need to do, because you got a cycle, you got a routine. So now you're in line with nature, and now you can create freedom. Because once you have that schedule, then you can start bringing in other people, because you can realize what's most important. When you're scheduled, you're going to make changes. Because some of y'all saying, okay, Jackson, I don't know how to make a schedule. I'm not good at making schedules. Well, just start by dedicating, what you're going to do at the top of each hour. Start writing it down. Not just in your phone, but writing it down. Because when you write it down, it's going to program in your mind better. So let's write these things down. And the more that we create those schedules, we write things down. See, now you're going to start recognizing what priorities are most important. And then you can fill in other people to now work on that schedule, because you understand what needs to be done. And now, y'all know we talked about business here a lot. So I'm going to give you a lot of business examples when we're talking about working on a schedule, because once you have a schedule, that's going to put you in a position to now start hiring the team. Okay. And it's going to help you start building a system, but it all starts with that schedule first. Okay. So when you have that schedule first, you're going to start noticing things that you didn't notice before. Because see, some of us, the reason, especially businesses in the Black community, the reason why so many of them don't last long is not because they don't have amazing products. Black folks got some of the best products. You know what I'm saying? We are the product, right? And that's the problem, because so many of us are independent that we can't walk away from the business, right? But the problem is we don't have a schedule where people know when we open and we don't stick to our schedule. If people know every day you're gonna be open at 7 a.m. from 7 to 2 p.m. and they know that consistently, you're gonna start winning by default. Why? Because of avoiding the market. Because there's not other people that are typically available from that time frame. Most people when they get up and they go into work, they need to eat, right? They need something because they're usually in a rush. They got that morning rush. Think about it. People going to work. It's a lot of cars outside. Everybody trying to either get to the job or they're trying to get somewhere, get to a school for their kids. They're trying to get somewhere. They got somewhere to be early, take care of some business. And when you somewhere early, you need something that's going to be consistent because you're on a schedule. Hey, I got to make this move. I got somewhere to be. So even if you are just there, let's say you start a business on a busy street, you're going to win just because you're open. Your products could be whack. You can have bad coffee. You can have the floors could be kind of messed up, but you still are going to start getting customers just because you available and nobody else is available. And most customers in the morning, they just want something consistent. So you can start building the airplane as you go. So you can get better coffee machines later. You can meet the guidelines later. Meaning if you need to have certain sinks in your place, you can get them sinks later. In fact, I'm gonna give you a quick example, right, on what I mean when I'm talking about the power of schedule. So I had a friend of mine, and I'll talk about their business. So what they did was, this was in Chicago. Two brothers I know. I'm not gonna say necessarily their name, but we'll just talk about their business, right? So they wanted to start up a computer shop, okay, right in the middle of the hood, busy street, and they wanted to do coffee and computers, okay. People needed computers. Most people love coffee and it's addictive, right? What's the loss leader to get people in your business? So what happened was these guys, they found a building, decent street. It was the hood, but there were no other businesses around. So literally if they just opened up, they were going to win by default because there were no other businesses and their business was right at a stoplight. So that means traffic would build up. So some people may just want to stop to look, hey, what's that? Let me go check them out. These guys spent $15,000 and never opened up the business. Never had one day of business. They spent maybe a year trying to develop this business and getting it going and never opened it up. Like most people I know. I've been there too. So what these guys did, so they spent that money fixing the floor first. Okay, cool. Fix the floor. Then they fixed, like they were doing a paint job. Cool, do that. That's great. You need to have those basics together. But then it went from, okay, you know what? We need coffee. So what they could have done, they said, first, you know what? How about we go to Walmart? We buy one of those coffee machines at the gas station have. Meaning all you do is it pre-makes the coffee and keeps it hot. So when a person comes in, all they got to do, if you want coffee, boom, we got it pre-made, hit the button, boom, they got some immediate coffee. That was the original idea. They could have used that and got started. But no, they started thinking and making stuff complicated, adding stuff to the equation. They said, you know what? If we serve coffee, how about we hire a barista? Ooh, but if we get a barista, that means then we're going to need some sinks, and we gotta have 2 or 3 sinks. Okay, so now we gotta pay for sinks, and then we're gonna need a bunch of different coffee options. And so now instead of them just getting started, now everything is more complicated because now you gotta hire the barista, you gotta get these sinks installed. The city needs to come out to, all this. When really the original idea was just open up the business, get one of them pre-made coffee machines like at the gas station, let people come in, hit the button, buy their coffee, keep it moving. Now you got momentum, income. So too many of us complicate stuff over and over again. And we got to stop complicating stuff. If you think about it, I'll give you an example. Think about McDonald's. McDonald's, they'll be open, let's say at 7 a.m. Do you know if McDonald's, the money they make from 7 a.m. until about 10:30 a.m. in that little 4-hour window, they make more money in that 4-hour window than most other businesses make in a year. Okay, in that 4 hour window, I'm talking about the money that they're generating as a whole, at just that one business, just that one McDonald's, the type of money that'll come in. Why? Because there's a rush. People know it's reliable. We can count on it at 7. And there's also a void. There's not many other places that's open that wants to, at 7 a.m. So you're fulfilling a void because you got a breakfast menu. You got a long line of people waiting in the drive-thru. Is McDonald's has the greatest food? No, but they consistent. So that's something we have to start. You can always make your product better over time when you take the money from the last customer that bought the product that you had. Shut up and hustle. We talk about this a lot. Start with where you're at. Okay, and improve it later. It's hella mistakes that were in the first edition of this book when I released it. All type of typos. But I didn't have the money for an editor. So I said, let me just get this book out, and then people can forgive me, and I'll let them know, yeah, there's mistakes in it. We'll take that money and then hire an editor and then make a better editing version. Volume 2, volume 3. This is like volume 10. But I just wanted to, y'all need to know, like, you gotta get out your own way and have a consistent schedule. That's one. Okay, have that schedule, and because once you have the schedule, you can then put yourself in a position to start hiring a team. Like when we talk, this book is called "How to Win by Thinking Like an Immigrant." So it's the reason why most immigrants come to America, and they're like over 50% of them are in the Fortune 500 companies, right? Most of the wealthiest people in America are people who came from outside of America. And think about just your average hood spot. You go in the hood, south side of Chicago, you'll see a lot of Arabs and Asian-owned corner stores. Whether it be a grocery store, a little food market, deli, whatever they got, And in these spots, what they do, they don't spend a lot of money when a lot of them get started. When they getting started, a lot of them they secure the space, right? They might spend $1,000 on painting the space. They get their business license. Maybe they might be under $5,000. They get their business going. You buy some inventory. It might be on credit, $2,500, $3,000 worth of inventory, and open up shop. And they work in the business until then. After they work in it for so long to generate so much money, then they go hire a black chick to go work in the store. Okay, where they pay her minimum, or they get a family member. They pay them minimum peanuts, just enough to keep working. Okay, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's something that we could learn from. Because these immigrants are coming in, setting up their business. Think about the corn man. Think about some of the Mexican man, or any guy that's coming from Mexico that come to America and they start selling corn in the hood. Here they come to your hood, and all they do, they got a little hot dog stand, corn stand, and they just post it every day, 7 days of the week from 7 a.m. Or they might even just work for 2 hours. If they just consistent every day for 2 hours with a little bitty hot dog stand, they winning. Now, the difference with them, what they do is these immigrants, once they establish a system that's working, because they got the business, they started with one cart, they started with one store, eventually they go back to their native country. And because they might be on a green card. And once they go back to the native country, they then send another family member back to America to take over the business. They either sell a business to them, or they let them take over and they still getting a small little check that come in, based on leasing the business to the new community that came to America, taking the money that you act like you don't want. You act like you don't want to cut grass, right? You act like you too good to paint houses. You too good to do these industries that many other immigrants want to do. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, these immigrants got the advantage, Jackson. They coming over and they dealing with disenfranchisement. I mean, they come over and they getting grants. My nigga, excuse my language, my friend, there's many grants for there are grants available that many of us don't even apply for. There's millions of dollars that never get issued out in grants because we don't apply for them. Or if we do apply for them, we spend too much money trying to make something perfect, and we mismanage the way we spend the money. A lot of us come across money all the time. We spend more money than any other culture. We just mismanage it. We act like we got self-esteem issues. So my thing is, you don't need perfection to get started. You know, when I see certain people, when black people throw a party, sometimes they act like they need the best flyers and the best location and the best. And I understand that to an extent. Like, I get it. You want to be fly. You want your stuff done right. I get it. You do want it done right. I'm not saying be janky. But I'm saying if you don't have momentum on your side and you've been procrastinating, we talking about the transition to build your momentum when you get started with something, and how do you then build it and grow. See, that's what we talking about, how to grow with where you're at. See, most people, we don't even get started to build a momentum because we're mismanaging the money up front. We think we need to do too much. You know, we trying to build an app that appeals to everybody versus just having one niche market. And you can do millions of dollars just having a small niche market. Having literally being open from 7 a.m. to 12 noon or 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. If just by having those hours, there's a whole market of people that just want stuff based on that time frame. When McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, when they have their morning breakfast shift, is damn near like a different business than their afternoon and dinner shift. It's different. It's not the same. You know, but they run it similar. They both got the same systems. And when you have a simple enough system and schedule, you can get teenagers to take over. Just push some buttons, make it easy. You know. But you don't need to overdo it. Like, I went to Atlanta, and no shade to Atlanta. I got a lot of love for Atlanta. A lot of money down in Atlanta. A lot of opportunities down there for people that want to really win. But I went to Atlanta, and I was going to like a Waffle House, and I noticed, man, the Waffle House, it was basic. It was super basic. When I say basic, it was actually, they needed a bunch of updates. You know how you first walk in somewhere and you start looking and you judging it when you first walk in, you be like, I don't know about this place. Like, you ever been to a bar and you go to the bar and you like, this crowd look kind of weak, you know, like, I don't know if this is my crowd. But then you stay there and, you know, and you realize like, oh, this place is lit. You know, this place is nice. Or you go to the Waffle House and you're like, oh, this food is great. But when you first walked in, you look and you say like, man, you know, they using this old cash register. They don't have any good computers. The table's looking like it's about to fall apart, right? The place need a paint job and a bunch of other stuff done to it. The lights kind of dim. But guess what? You eat the food's good. And then you love the place. And they making millions of dollars every year. Mainly because they got that schedule. They consistent. You know they're going to be available. Okay? They got a team that they building because the owner ain't in there making waffles. You better believe it. And then not only that, but everybody is, everybody, I mean, there's a system. There's an order system. We got a basic menu. Just 4 or 5 products you could choose through. 4 or 5 options max. And that's a whole nother problem that we sometimes we complicate our systems because we trying to sell too much. And that's a whole nother story about making customers confused. We think we need 1,000 different products, 1,000 different variations of this. No, all you need is 3 to 5 good options for most businesses to really be successful, and let your customers choose through that, because now they get to focus and be concentrated. I mean, most successful businesses, actually, they only, like, think about how many shoe stores are successful when they only sell shoes. They ain't selling a lot. You sell shoes. And some of them might only sell athletic shoes. Some of them only sell basketball shoes. They may have a bunch of different shoes, but they only sell basketball shoes. Instead of trying to, I'm gonna sell casual shoes and basketball shoes, and we're gonna sell some dress shoes and some penny loafers. Come on, man. Come on, them not people in the you doing too much. Because now, for one, you can't even afford to pay for all of that inventory when you need to be paying for your staff, because you need to have that team. You need to be paying for your marketing. That's a part of the system. If you don't know how to market, you need to be paying somebody else who can market for you. So team building, systems, and stop doing stuff by yourself, okay? Team. That's the dream. That's what we building. And we have to be consistent with that. Remember, everything on the planet operates on some type of schedule, from animals to the planet itself, our bodies. Every business has to have a consistent schedule. I see too many businesses that are unsuccessful, and the common denominator many times is they are not open consistently at a consistent time. How can you market a business that is not open at a consistent time? It also applies even if you're in social media. If you're going live, look at the voids in the market. How many people are going live at 7 a.m.? If not a lot of people, that may be an opportunity for you to come in. You can talk about some of the same topics somebody else talk about, but because you're going live at 7, you're going to have a certain group of people that's going to follow you just because of that alone. Without all the bells and whistles. So no special effects needed. So we got to think like an immigrant, meaning work together as a team, have a code of conduct, and be really striving for freedom and working with what we have. Okay. So with that being said, do that. Also get that book, man. Get the book, Shut Up and Hustle. Readers are leaders. Leaders are readers. All right. You want to win, you got to always program your mind. And we write these books for non-readers. So even if you don't like to read a lot, boom, we got it just for you. If you're the person that only read at a 6th grade level, boom, you'll love this. Words big and everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Perfect. Or if you a scholar and you want to get deep, hey, we got formulas in there for you too. So we're keeping this thing real basic and simple, because many times that's all it takes for you to go to the next level. So with that being said, look, subscribe to the page. Also get those links. Go to hustleheadquarters.com. Hustle Headquarters 360. That's when you can learn all about the cryptocurrency classes. You better be taking those classes, because your money needs to be automated and decentralized. Okay. I'm not a financial advisor, but we like to have conversations about automating money and protecting yourself from somebody else having your money, right? You want to have your money and control it. You the bank. Remember that. So with that being said, do that. Support the channel. We got the Cash App below too. If you just feel compelled, you're like, hey, Jackson, I just want to donate to the cause. Support the cause, bro. You can do that too. I appreciate you. I appreciate you more than you know. So look, with that being said, we're going to roll. Keep this thing on the schedule. Keep it pushing. This is a pre-recorded video, but I kind of felt like going live a little bit, with the live feeling. So if y'all want to see more videos like this, where I'm kind of just flowing, freestyling, going, man, say Jackson, I need it badly. I got you. So, all right, let's keep it cooking. And subscribe to the page. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.